Somalia is one of the most dangerous and devastated places on Earth. There's conflict.
What was that?
And climate change.
This is the worst drought Somalia ever experienced. More than 7 million people affected by the drought. There is also a terrorist threat.
This has forced a staggering number of people from their homes and put parts of the country on the brink of famine. All while most of the world is focused on the war in Ukraine.
When the world turns its back on Somalia, bad things happen. Mass migration. And when people are in the move, there is nothing that is going to stop them.
Somalia has a reputation for being a hellscape, and many parts of it are. But there is so much more to this country and its people. Amid this record-breaking drought is an immense amount of resilience and determination.
I'll give this mother some credit. They are strong, that's what I can say. You can see she's still holding on to hope that tomorrow will be better.
I see the challenge, but I see the opportunities, and I'm very much really hopeful that we have more brighter future for this country.
Somalia sits on the Horn of Africa. It has the longest coastline on the continent, but is beset by drought and terrorism. We're flying to Dolo, a town that's under government control, but danger isn't far away.
Down there is al-Shabaab territory.
In this part of Somalia, we have to travel in armoured cars with armed security everywhere we go.
People from neighboring areas, especially areas under al-Shabaab control, have been fleeing to Dolo on the expectation that they will get some humanitarian relief. I see the camps swelling more and more. The influx is just unprecedented.
2 years ago, this camp on the outskirts of town didn't exist. Now it's home to 30,000 people. Work's beginning on a home for this family who got here yesterday. As we're filming, a caravan of new arrivals appears on the horizon. They're exhausted and have barely any possessions.
This group behind me just walked in. They've been walking for 10 nights with no food and very little water. There's at least one child that's malnourished. They're currently getting registered. They'll be given a plot of land to set up a tent, and then this will be their home for who knows how long. And the thing that the camera can't show you is just how hot and unforgiving it is here.
Dust storms blow through the barren camp, blanketing everything and everyone. Aisha Sugal has arrived with her 2 children, 1-year-old Hamdo and 2-year-old Mohammed. The boy is malnourished.
safartaas ani wax oo aan haysto aan ku soo wada marmale dadka oo isla socon kareetayaalkay wateena ciyaalkana soo saartay anina waan soo lugeynay intaas wax oo gaari iyo gaadiid waxaan ku raacan ma haysanin anigaaba waxaan dadka soo qaatay jid ku soo maray.
She's walked 30 kilometres a day for 10 days and she's 7 months pregnant. She was desperate to escape from al-Shabaab's control.
meeshaan ka imaaday al-Shabaabta waa wax dad duurka ku jiro wax haddii haysatana kaa qaadanayo waxaad yeelan karin wax kale oo aan haysanin malayn waa wixii haysatana dadaa kaa qaadanayo.
There was no room on the donkey cart to bring her 3- and 4-year-old daughters. She left them behind with her husband.
aada aga walbaarsanay laakiin way ii aan wayda caruur gaajaysan meesha ma lagu wada han karo adigoo gaajaysan ilmahaada oo gaajaysan mis ag fadhin kartiin saas la awgeed inaan wax u helo markaan wax helo aniga aan caruurtayda soo watoon halkaas iska degan aaga suuta.
While the first group's being registered, hundreds more new arrivals walk in, all needing shelter and food. The World Food Programme is feeding more people in Somalia than ever before.
ilmahayga baahi iyo rafaada ayaan meesha ogaan waayay ilma aad dhashay oo oynayo ma ilaalin kartid meeshaas kuugu noolaan adiga nolol fiican ka helayso inaad la aadi saas la awgeeda inaan socdo intaasoo dhan anoo xaamile ugu kalafta.
Suddenly, the mood goes from tense to panicked.
We need to get moving. I don't know. Let's go. Keep walking to the car, come on. Now!
We've just been bundled into the car by our security team because they found a man on phone telling someone about our position, and because we know that al-Shabaab are not far from here, we have to go.
A couple of kilometres from the camp, the Dolo Hospital is where you find the most devastating consequences of this drought and conflict. Nutrition coordinator for the NGO Trocare, Pamela Wasonga, has been working in Somalia since the last famine in 2011.
It's really getting worse when we look at the data. Most of the children that are coming in, they are in a very bad situation. Hello! How many admissions today?
8 admissions.
8 admissions?
Pamela goes to check on 2-year-old Kalson, who came in with her mum Hafe 5 days ago. She weighs just 6.9 kilograms, half of what a healthy toddler her age should be. Despite how sick she looks, Kalson's prognosis in the short term is good.
The prognosis is actually very good. Most of the time, if we lose children here, they pass on the same day of admission. If a child survives the first 48 hours, really, there is no reason why we should lose a child.
The UN believes at least 40,000 Somalis may have already died because of this hunger crisis, half being children under 5. It will likely get worse.
85% of Somalia's wheat imports used to come from Russia and Ukraine. Consequently, the price of the food across the entire Horn of Africa has increased by 49%. The traditional donors more or less washed their hands from Somalia. And if that continues, we will see a huge catastrophe in this country this year.
What about this one?
The newest arrivals to the clinic are Habiba Ibrahim Noor and her 4 children.
The youngest, the one who's really very severely malnourished. They are all severely malnourished, but she's in a very, very bad situation, if I may say. Yeah, but I'm hopeful. With the care that we are giving, I'm hopeful.
A single mother, surviving on $1 or $2 a day if she's lucky, she does what it takes to try to keep her hungry children happy. Habiba's 9-year-old daughter, Sophia, stands by her mum's side. When Habiba goes to town to find work washing clothes, Sophia looks after the other kids at the camp.
If you look at her, to me, I think she's strong. She's hanging in there and having hope that since she's here, she'll get the help that she needs. The women are very resilient. They are strong, that's what I can say. Because when you look at the conditions they've passed through or they are in, you can see she's still holding on to hope that tomorrow will be better.
These mothers and their kids are in many ways the lucky ones. They've been able to escape al-Shabaab territory in order to get help.
We know that there are people that are completely cut off from services, because for them to get to where the services are, they would probably need to pass one of the areas that are controlled by them. Then it means that they can't come, or likewise, we can't go to them.
The terrorist group al-Shabaab holds large swathes of territory across Somalia and has operatives in the capital, Mogadishu.
This is Mogadishu's airport, and you can see all the UN planes and helicopters behind me. It's one of the most heavily fortified and secure places in the entire country, but even here isn't safe. Just a few days before we arrived, al-Shabaab terrorists launched a mortar attack that landed inside the compound.
It's very scary and very challenging. Myself, I survived so many times the terrorist attack. Including my home, including while I was traveling on the road, I survived a suicide bomb. So you're dealing with that daily challenge and threats. I remember one of my colleagues in the cabinet, he was killed by his niece. She killed him. So when you live that reality, you don't know who you trust.
Inside the airport compound, I'm meeting Abdirahman Abdishakur, the Somali president's special envoy for drought.
When you are living in rural communities in Somalia and facing a drought, and al-Shabaab impose you heavy taxes, or if you cannot pay, ask you to recruit one of your loved ones, they put you in difficult situation. And that has created, uprising against al-Shabaab.
After more than a decade of deadly terrorist attacks, authorities are fed up. And last year, the government launched an all-out war against the insurgents. They have the backing of the United States, Somalia's neighbours, and most importantly, Somalis themselves.
When the community comes against you and you are insurgents living among the public, I think your time is over. It's like fish in the water. If the water rejects the fish, I don't think fish can survive. Al-Shabaab are now rejected by Somali public and Somali people, and now uprising against them, and government are providing leadership to fight against them.
The UN's humanitarian coordinator in Somalia, Adam Abdelmullah, first worked here more than 20 years ago and says success isn't guaranteed.
The government continues to move from one operation theatre to the next. So it is holding capabilities are very limited. They recover an area, they move to the next, and in some cases, al-Shabaab comes back and takes over the territory again.
But the government is resolute.
In my opinion, in my calculation, in my understanding, this is the beginning of the end of al-Shabaab.
To see what a peaceful Somalia could look like, we're going to the country's north, to a place called Somaliland. This region declared itself independent from Somalia in 1991, but it hasn't been recognised internationally. Al-Shabaab hasn't been able to gain a foothold here, and the sense of freedom in the capital Hargeisa is a total contrast to Mogadishu.
Somaliland, and especially Hargeisa, is a testament to what peace could bring. You see a bustling city in par with any other major city in Africa. The leaders did not create all of this. The leaders provided stability and peace, and the people did the rest. And what happened in Hargeisa could happen in any part of Somalia if the leaders bring about peace.
This is our downtown Hargeisa. This is where all the markets of the business come, and people come here to buy their food, clothes. So this is the market where, everybody come to also greet each other.
It'll take us about 2 hours to get to the tea shop.
Walking through Hargeisa with Abdi Rashid Douale is like being with a rock star. He's the CEO of the biggest money transfer company in the Horn of Africa, Dahab Shil, and is one of the wealthiest people in the region. He says this part of the world is often misrepresented.
People read just one bomb went off in Mogadishu, and they think entire Somali people are either killing each other or fighting. And it's not true. You can see how relaxed it is, how calm it is, how people are doing business together.
Peace like this across Somalia could pave the way for the country to focus on its bigger fight against climate change.
Nomadic people by culture were independent people. They were people who do their best. They are not expecting aid. They were by nature self-reliant people. But climate change is beyond their control.
About 100 kilometres from the city of Hargeisa are the bone-dry plains of Togdir. Goat herder Salaban Farah scours the landscape for signs of life. Everything around him is dying, but he needs to feed his goats.
هنا المركز العين دول سنة waxba kuma yaalaan waxa geedka sare saaran u baadhay ay u aayaan oo irshaq wax muddo dheer imika geed sare wax saaran u baan si mulkii oo soo xoolo daaqi jireen dawadi ka arkayo waa board khaliya abaarahana dawgu wacan oo deekan baqan daalay.
Droughts are not new to the Horn of Africa, but there hasn't been one quite like this.
People say that this is the worst drought in 40 years. But that's wrong. This is the worst drought in Somalia's history, period.
Salaban's neighbours' animals hear the sound of leaves falling from branches, but this little nourishment is too hard won to share.
هنيني الواد عني دعوي أنا بدي بلوغاني المصدر مني
سوليات ويا كان تعسيت تقول
ما عيد بلا شوقي ها سيدا يكون صعوته هدان إلى هيك سوق قاري دوي يرد بديت ولا قديري يا با وحبوا وطن لك أنا كواري با لك وحبوا كواري با يا رو أبارتنا هاي سما أبار بانيو.
If we go back to the 2011-2012 famine, it was a result of 3 failed rainy seasons. We have already surpassed 5, and the 6th is in the horizon. So it is catastrophic by all accounts. Climate change is accelerating and intensifying.
Livestock is Somalia's biggest export industry and a vital commodity for families. These animals provide milk, meat, and an asset to sell when they need cash.
waayo qofka haddaan wax baran haddaanu meel wax kaleba aanu fahmaynin halkaasun waxa nool ku raacan jiray mooyaane dee noloshiisu way gaabantay aqoontiisu way gaabantay wax waliba way awdiin magala eega saddex meelood marka laga dhigo 2 meelood way baxeen.
2 years into this drought, the toll on Salaban's family has been immense. He's had to bury his wife and 2 children.
maxaa oo sidaan loo tegin mar reer waxa la yidhi gabar reerna kama horreeyo kamara dambeeyadii reer haddaad maqasho meel yaallo oo dhisanoo dhaqan gabadh kamana horreeyo kamana dambeeyo.
Once a week, Salaban and his brother have to walk for hours to take their animals to water.
Hi. Hey. هاي الكواكن على اليد هوري عيدنا دقي عيد ما كلها هاي الكواكن عيدنا على اليد هوري عيدنا دقي عيد ما كلها هاي الكواكن عيدنا على اليد هوري.
This is the well on the edge of a village called Harashaik, where families have dug holes inside a dry dam bed to reach water.
هدي هذا لا بقولي هذا لا بقولي ويسكربيال إذا لا قفل ونسكرنا شيء هذا يهيدي ما يمرك هو بدن هلو وبسنا تحولوا وقت بيلي رحمة الله وبرتينو إلهي وحسين تريو.
These pastoralists are just hanging on to their lives and their livelihoods. Over the past 2 years, they've watched their animals die by the hundreds. The main rainy season is supposed to start right now, and if it fails, like the last 5, they could lose everything.
Here in Harashaik, away from the rest of the family, lives Salaban's 15-year-old daughter, Hinda.
sababta waxay ahayd markii hooyaday dhimatay ayaa caruurta cid haysaayay la waayay waxa laygu wuri caruurtaad haysid aad xoolaana aad haysid marka xoolaa barta waa laga soo arooriyaa waxa la keenaa halka baa la keenaa laga waaraabiyaa aad soo aroorisid caruurtan ma soo aroorin karso sida awgeed baa layga saari gaadhan laakiin ana la tacaalo yidhi xoolahan waa adduunyo waan iska dhammaanayaane ka bixi maayo waxbarashadayda.
When she gets home from school, she puts her books aside, gets changed, and starts work in her grandma's shop.
Ayo, marka imaka mar horan biyo wixina soo dheemi. Mar horan shaqeeyay.
Nearly 2 million children in Somalia have dropped out of school because of the drought. Hinda fears she may be forced to join them.
anigoo kaliyaaba maaha arday badan baa ka baxday saa iskuulka markii abaartaas dhacday oo xoolooda kaxeeyay meel doogle calaashan oo kala geeyay shaqaanan qaban jirin qabtay saana hooyada dabeecad dhimatana aad baan murugooda ilaa xataa markaan anaan ka xasuusto waan murugooda والله أنا بين المرقان مركوية ديمت
Salaban wonders what their future may hold if he loses his animals.
waxaa ku noolaan jiray intaa imika taalla saddexdeed way ka badnayd oo dadkii markii abaarihii dhaceen ee xoolihii ay ka baxeen wax hargeysa ku biira wax tandiga wax lugaa u kala yaaca dadkii dab iska baaba xoolooma haraysna caasimad cid ugama shaqayso dibad qurba joog wax loogama soo diro hay-aduhu baa ilaahay ku quudiya ilaahay wuxuu soo dhex maraya marka mar hadday naftu wax kale baran dee halkay ku tiirsataa waa halkaasuu bartay u dhaqaaqda waa bartaasuba
When I was here in Somalia 20 years ago, 66% of the Somali territory was covered in vegetation. Today, that percentage is 17%. This is in a span of 2 decades. Is it accurate to keep referring to Somalia as an agro-pastoralist country? I don't think that description is accurate now.
With the help of international aid, Hinda is determined to complete her education.
hooyadii ku faraxsanaanaano haddaan sidii adii nooshay intaa hooyadaanoo iskuulka dhigto markaan sigiiska haaba wiila qaarqaarin jirtay saanu dhiganaayo dhigabii goon jirtay hooyo sidaa weeye
hindii caruurta waa lambarwankooda lambarwanka leegay 1 2 3 4 soo halka lagama raaco wankaan odhan karaa waa qof firfircoon iyadoo aan odhan karo maca hadday caalamka noqoto hadday la noolaanshiyaa ummadda noqoto haddii la socodka ay noqoto haddii ay talfiiqda noqoto iyo maqaalufka ay noqoto
Her education is a source of pride and an insurance policy against the devastating effects of climate change.
meel lagama yaabo eegay inantu mar hadday waxbarashadu wax qaaliya waxaan meesha u geynina waa waxa kororsato idinkana waxayni tarto iyaduna waxa qabsato caalamka la jaan qaado marka inantaa meel lagama yaabo inay halkaa ka sii socoto mooyaane inay dub soo noqoto ummi mawdila mooyaane inay dub ugu soo noqoto qorshaygu ma jirto
insha Allah waxaan doonayaa inaan dadku ku sarreeyo noqdo ayaan ku xisaabtama barashadeedana si wacan u dhigto